Hello, welcome to the channel. So, mystery tube amp, mystery valve amp. Valve amp if you're in the UK, tube amp if you're in the States. This one might be a bit more difficult to identify than the KMD that I put up a few days ago. So let's just have a look at what we've got here then. So we've got a speaker in there, looks like it's facing the other way. And then we've got this amplifier section here. But this amplifier section, and we've got nothing on the phase plate anywhere saying what the controls are. And we don't even know if this amp runs. You know, does this amp actually run? We've got a very, very cracked and loose bulging socket there, so whatever happens, that's got to go. Now this, if we flick these two latches here, we can pull this out, this amp. You can see it just slides out there. You probably can't now because it's got too close to the camera. So I'm just going to put this down over here for a second. You can see inside we've got like a blue Tolex going on there. Now I think somebody's painted this Tolex and all this was blue. So that's I mean, this is a very old amp, so you know, it's some of you guys that were playing in the 60s and stuff are probably going to identify this amp more easily than someone of my generation. So we can see that's the first clue, the blue Tolex. Let's just spin this round now. That you can see now is the speaker grill on there. And we've got this brass edging on here. Has the top part of this amp been added? And this is original, or is this thing homemade? We don't know anything about it. Let's spin it round again. Let's see if we can get this back off and have a look at this speaker. Check that out for a speaker. 15 watt, 15 ohms, Goodman's Industrial Limited, Audium 60 bass, made in England. And seems to be in good order too, although that's only a mild test. You know, there is a date stamped on the side of there, I think, but it's barely readable. Or there's some information stamped on there, should I say, on the side of the cabinet. You can probably see it there, maybe just. Very interesting. So that's the cabinet. Let's get the amp on the bench now and we can have a good look at that. Right, so you can see we've got the amp on the bench there. And we can see already we've got some serious safety issues with this. You can see the fuse there on that there, and obviously the bulging, we've seen that already. We have got writing on these knobs. Look, 2 tones and 2 volumes, 4 inputs. Looks like we've got some kind of send and return going on there. Not sure what's been going on there. Some real scratches on that. We look inside. Looks like we've got a couple of EL84s. That looks like EZ80 or an EZ81. There's an EF86 in it, and that looks like a JJ there, 12AX7 at a glance. Don't see an output transformer. Don't see an output transformer. That must, hopefully, is underneath. It's certainly not going to run with that one, is it? These mystery amps. I'm becoming the Agatha Christie of the vintage amp world. Well, that was loose, but that won't come out. See what happened there. Oh, we have got. We've got a solitary. Oh, now we've got 3 screws. Oh, never mind, we'll pick him up later. I've spotted where he's gone. Let's see if we can get these out. Something tells me with a bit of raw plug on and that I don't think those are the right screws, are they? Let's try this one. We look at the front of the case there, you can see that as being painted. We can see there that it's coming through, so the blue Tolex there. Bit of a shame that. So you can see that, so EZ81, I could tell that, I thought it was. It's a bit taller than the EZ80. We've got unmarked tube, so we need to just tread carefully, but I think they are 6BQ5s, but we need to make sure. Let's see if there's anything on this one. Unmarked, yeah. Yes, unmarked. And we've got the, if we look on here, we've got the rubber mounted EF86 socket. They're really good, these. Do they still manufacture these anywhere? If anybody knows where you can get these sockets new, or new old stock even, let me know in the comments, because they're really good for these Pento tubes. We could have done with one of those on the Hollywood film amp, the amp 1. And that, yes, is a 12AX7. That's obviously been put in recently. Right, let's lift it up. Beefy power transformer on there. Let's swing it over and have a look inside. Ah, there's the output transformer. Let's just lift it up. So let me just do a bit of checking on these tubes. So this is the output transformer. Ground here, a bit of stray wire there, there's nothing. Going to this socket. Oh, that fuse over here is really loose. Oh, the fuse holder is smashed. That explains why, what the problem is with that. That's no big deal to change though, is it? And the bulging again, no big deal. We can change that. I've actually got some IECs that fit in these bulging holes with a, you just have to widen the hole out probably a mil or half a mil or so there. So let's, oops, what's this resistor floating around here? Oh dear, there's some insulation tape in it. Pretend we didn't see that. Revolting stuff. So that resistor floating around, that appears to be on, is that on the, that's on the EZ81, so that must be some kind of drop-in resistor on there. I just banged the camera then, sorry. Right, let's see what we've got here then. So filaments are 4 and 5, which tells us very little. We have pin 9 going from here. We've got a drop-in resistor that's going out one to the transformer. This transformer's ultra linear, I do believe. So pin 7 is the plate. So these are 6BQ5s. Yeah, center tap. And if you look here, we've got this tap. If we follow it down, it goes to pin 9. So this is an ultra linear transformer, separate tap. So what have we got? Can't see what that resistor is. Just thinking why we got that resistor there, and it's got the dreaded insulation tape around it, and that might be 47k, either 47 or 4.7. We'll have to measure it and see. We've got a preset going on here. I'm not sure what that's about. We look across, we can see that preset. Just go in a bit more. There's the sockets. Why, they need some cleaning. Caps here. Interesting. Not much to it, is there, really? Pretty simple circuit. So let's see if there's any dates on that Plessy cap there. There's a couple of them. Ow. Thumb giving me some jip there. November 59 it says on this one, so we'll probably assume this amp's 1960, something like that. So that gives us a reasonable date for it. So now we need to just check. This should be cathode biased, I would have thought it is. Pin 3, yeah, let's have a look. Pin 3, trying to see the glare of the lights. 987, oh, 543, this wire here. Going to here, yeah, so that's the cathode resistor there. No cathode bypass cap on there. Doesn't look like it. Nope. So I'm just looking at this resistor, 560k grid leak, and then these are the coupling capacitors to the tubes on the grids. They look like, let's see, what, 1500 picofarad. So we could fire this up, but I need to make it safe before I do that. Although I'd have the light bulb on it. I don't think there'll be a fuse in this anyway. Oh, there is. Look at that, an old radio spares fuse. That looks like that's from the 70s. But yeah, that fuse holder's no good. So what we'll do is we'll snip that fuse holder off, and we'll link those together and insulate them. Because we've got the current limiter, we don't really need a fuse. The bulbs, any problems, the bulbs will just absorb the current, so that'll be no problem there. The other thing we need to check is it grounded, and it is. If you could call that a ground, dearie me, that's not magical. And the ground is also loose in there. In fact, that's just come out. So what we'll do is we'll get our additional ground on there. Right, we're all ready to go on this. So we'll kick off. So we'll switch on. I've just added on a little bit to test it. So you can see the EZ81 will start to conduct in a minute. We've got about 130 volts on it, but the current limiter bulb's gone dim. And it's starting to come up now. So I can see what voltage the bulb's dropping on. I've got a meter on here. So you can see that's coming up now. Got voltage coming up steady. Oh, we've got something already. Yep, already. So we're just going to let that sit for a minute. Well, we'll just let that settle for a bit. It's very quiet at the moment anyway. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take out this 40 watt bulb. You'll see the voltage drop, and I'm going to put 100 in now. There we go, and that's quite dim now, so there's no shorts on this amp. And now we can hear that coming up. In fact, we could put the gen through it. Some crackly volumes. There we go. Just take that down a bit. There you go, not as intrusive. So we've got signal going through it. Well, okay, so that's all looking good. Right, just going to stick this 40 watt bulb in. So we've got 140 watts of limiting now. You see the plate voltage is coming up some more. There we go. That's all looking good. Let's just flick the gen off a minute and have a listen to the background. Very quiet. Those caps must be in really good order, because that is absolutely silent. Let's turn these down altogether. Yeah, really quiet. You find that those Plessy can caps, you very rarely find them blown. I've seen lots of those, and I've never seen any that are even, you know, humming. This, you know, are leaky. They're just quiet as a mouse. And again, we're just bringing this up steady on the current limiter. So we've not shocked them back to life. That's good. I'm going to take the 40 out. You'll see the voltage has dropped. Now I'm going to put another 100 in now. So we've got 200 watts of current limiting, and now we should see that voltage go up. And we still won't be near the voltage that this amp will kick out, but I don't have any bigger bulbs than 100 watts, so that's the maximum current limiting, 200 watts. That's the maximum limiting we've got. Tone controls don't seem to work, but we are still, let's just see if these tone controls, no, so the tone controls don't work, which is surprising, because the tone caps are the old mustard mullards. Maybe they're just not wired up correctly. But they're not working. Flick that off again. There we go. That's all looking good. Very good, that. Right, I've got the guitar through it. So the tone control kind of works. Could certainly do with a better capacitor in there. Let's try the so they don't seem to change. Try the other channel. This some issue on that one. The tone control doesn't really work on. So we've got some issues on that channel. A bit of frying is now we've got now as well. Yes. Turn that volume down. So there we go. It's it runs. It's a bit sick. It needs some work. It's amazing. Those capacitors are just so quiet. There's no hum. You just got the background noise, but there's no hum on this amp whatsoever. It'll be a very clean amp with the ultra linear screens there, the ultra linear tapping on the output transformer on the primary side there. Let's have a look what we've got on there. 207. What we got on there? 199. We've got more on the screens than the plates, not much more, but about 8 volts, something like that. Now there's 200 on there. What we got? Yeah, 7.5 volts. So we've probably just alter that a bit. So basically we're just assessing this amp, and obviously we want to, anybody knows what this amp is? Does anybody got any idea whatsoever? I don't have a clue, not a clue. But transformers seem decent. You know, we should have a decent amount of plate volts. Remember, I've got the current limiter on and we're over 200 volts, so I should think, you know, we've probably got 280, 90 volts maybe when the current limiter's off. I'm not going to switch it off because, as I say, we've got no fuse on there, and it's just not safe to do so. And again, you know, making sure that you have a good ground on when you're doing this. You notice there when I'm plugging the guitar in, I'm got my hand on the guitar strings and I'm holding the chassis here. You know, don't do it if you don't have a ground. Make sure you've got a ground just to be safe. It's usually if you touch something else that's grounded, if the appliance you're working on isn't grounded, but even so, it's make sure you've got a good ground when you're doing this. And as I say, when you're doing this sort of thing where you know, don't just bind the wires together, solder them up properly and insulate them properly, like with some shrink tubing. It just makes it safe. There's no way then these are going to come apart while you're testing and things. And obviously don't do this if you don't have a current limiter, because a current limiter is obviously substituting for the fuse. The bulb tells me if this gets a short, the bulbs will come bright and I'll just switch off. Bulbs will just absorb the current. So there we go, we know it runs. We'll see what the customer wants to do with it. It'll be a while before I get onto this. So I'm trying to work through a backlog of amps that I've got, because I don't know if I've mentioned it, but my father was in hospital the week before, suffering from heart failure. So I've had to I lost some time there, a few days having to look after him, and I'm having to look after him a bit more now as well, so I'm losing time there. And then I was ill in bed last week and had about 3 days with a stomach bug, so that put me even further behind. So I'm just trying to work through some of these amps. We've got some of the big restorations. We've got the Masco amp, which I've just started now. That's just started, so that'll be on the channel soon. We've also, the customer sent me down another Masco, which we're going to do an assessment video on that one. That one's had some work done to it, and we've still got the Stromberg to do as well, so we are quite a way behind still with things. The preamp stage is to do on the Kelly amp as well, so that'll be another video. I've got another video that'll be going up in a day or two, which is a Marshall amp, which you'll see when that goes up. So yeah, very busy. We've got a lot of stuff to do for the shop, some of Lee's own personal amps as well, so there's a lot of work. So that'll do it for this one. So thanks for watching, you all take care, and I'll see you all in another video. Bye bye for now.